Thoughts podcast live. We're doing a live little segment today on 4th of July. Shout out to all the hoopers out there who's able to be home, who's able to be home and enjoying your holidays, who's able to be home and enjoy your holidays. This is gonna be quick. I ain't gonna keep you guys here too long. I just have some. I haven't been on in a little minute, so I said let me just hop on and just chop it up with the guys to just give you just how you feel about being home or being in your situation or where you at in your career. You just got to take a step back and just looking at where you're at. We're going to get to the main topics, talking about Beasley. We're going to be talking about McLemore. We're going to be talking about Montrez and his situation. There's a lot going on, guys out there crashing out in the worst ways. In the worst ways, or just I wouldn't even say that. It's just a lot of situations that are happening right now, and we're just gonna cover it because we like to just cover the mindset of an athlete, in which you could tap into the mindset of an athlete and understand what the heck were they thinking. Then you can get an understanding of a route that you possibly would not want to go along. Because in these situations, we are all talking about athletes that are in the profession and at the level that we would aspire to be as a professional player or an athlete in general. It doesn't matter if you're a professional, it doesn't matter if you are starting out. You look at guys that are above you and you want to emulate their game and get to their status or earning the type of money. For instance, Malik Beasley, he was set to make, I believe it was 48 million, 50 million or something like that, and now he's in some allegations of gambling. So we're going to get into all of that. I just want to start off first though by just saying, man, like how happy I am to be home for the holidays. This is not my setup. If you guys follow along with the show and with the channel, you know my background, everything always changes. There is never going to be a set place because I'm currently playing, and I have to go different places all the time. I was just in Argentina 2 days ago. I finished the season there. So now that I'm done with the season there, I'm back at home. I'm in Houston at my cousin's house because we're having a huge, all my family, my sister's coming from North Carolina, my cousin's coming from down south. We came from from Argentina. We got just all the families just coming and piling into Houston at my cousin's house, and we're just having. They got family from Hawaii here. We're just having a great time. And when you've been in the game for a long time, you realize how special and how clutch that is to be able to go home for your family's events. We don't realize how much that plays a part on your life as a professional player. One day when you make it as a professional player, you just you take for granted those times you can go home for like Thanksgiving. And I know, man, every time I see Thanksgiving place, I get sick because it's not even about the food. It's just the aspect of being with my family on a day and everybody together. That is the point. That is the like what you miss the most. Just being with your family and the love that you get, and you ain't seen them in a while, and you just trying to talk about everything that's been happening in the last couple of years, or months, cause you ain't seen them in forever. Like I seen my cousin 2 times in the last year for one day, you know, and especially me, I was going on a 9 month season. I was going for the season with 9 months. It was a haul, a good haul. You feel me? So when you get the chance to be able to come back home and just like have a holiday, you can come and everybody's coming in and you just that love is just underrated that we don't even realize because we get caught up in I'm living my life playing the game of basketball and I'm overseas and I'm living the life and I'm in a good situation, I'm getting paid well, and I'm people love me out here and stuff like that, but ain't nothing like that love of your family. Nothing tops it. I believe one of the biggest things that I don't like the most, or what I'm working hard, at least during the ending of my career. And when I say ending, I mean like at least another 5 years, bare minimum. But towards the back end of my career, I realized one of the things that I miss the most when I go playing overseas is like my family, and I wish I could bring them over here with me. This back end of my career, my goal is to try to bring as much as my family overseas and let them just experience the life that we get to live. I want them to experience that with me, whether that be for like a week, for a game, something, just to have that experience of, look, this is what I do, and include them into what I do. Like, that's one of the goals that I have, of just a part of playing the game, like a part of doing something you love. When you're doing something you love, all you really, like most people, or I know for me, I can only speak for myself, you just want to give that love back and share it with the people you love the most. So like, I love playing basketball. I love the game. I love just all of it. And it's just like, it's me being at my best, at my highest. This is what I train for. This is what I work on. This is what I grind and put so much hours. They see me train, and they see so many hours of me putting in work, and they know this is what I do. And then to be able to share, and when we winning, or we like, just to share in the experience, like, hey, come on over to Buenos Aires for a week, and then come to a professional game, and then just enjoy the atmosphere, and it's a playoff intensity atmosphere, and you can come over here, and you get to be in a major city in a different country that you have never would have experienced before, you would never even thought of. That part of the game is what I'm striving for me. That's just something I like. I feel like most athletes, that's what they have, that same sensation. They know it, because when you've been in the game, like I've been over 10 years, you just want that family to experience it with you. So I'm dope. It's so fire and it's so dope that I get to be home right now. I got my daughter with me. Anytime I got my daughter with me, it's up. It is up. Peak joy. Peak joy and happiness is anytime I have my daughter with me, you know? So we're going to get into the first topic, talking about Ben McLemore. Ben McLemore has been accused of sexually assaulting a girl at a party. I listened to a clip. Matter of fact, I think I should go and find the clip, because it was a good clip of someone. I don't know who the guy is. I'm going to shout out the guy right now because I saved the video, and I was like, oh, good, this is what he does. He kind of like does. Here we go. Let's go back. Okay. Let's get it together now. Let's get it together.
Former NBA basketball player Ben McLemore has been found guilty in the first degree of taking advantage of a 21-year-old at a house party in 2021. And now he faces a minimum of 8 years behind bars, according to the state of Oregon. He's going to spend a minimum of 8 years behind bars for getting intoxicated at a house party, and then she woke up and said that he took advantage of her. And according to him, she came on to him. But he's going to do time behind bars. I'm here to tell all you young athletes right now, if she is not sober, do not bend her over. I'm going to say it again. If she is not sober, do not bend her over. Now, we already learned from the P. Diddy trial, you can no longer fly a girl out. Now, when it comes to this, we have to learn that in 2025, you cannot get hot and bothered at a party and she's intoxicated, because she cannot consent to anything that is about to go down. I don't care if she come up to you rubbing you at a house party, all over you. If she is not sober, you cannot bend her over. That's the fact in 2025. And please remember this. If you are an athlete, you will be held to a higher standard. If you
Facts.
are an athlete, you will get charged with something, because whenever they scream it, you gonna get hit with the charge, so it can hit the tabloids. And I don't know what color this woman was. I don't know if she was a snow bunny. I don't know what the ethnicity was. But I'm here to
Don't
tell
matter.
all you young athletes, you can't move like they did back in the day. You have to move with caution, because if not, you can end up like Ben McLemore, who was about to spend a minimum of 8 years behind bars. Former
Sheesh.
NBA basketball player Ben McLemore.
8 years behind bars. You hear what he said? 8 years behind bars. That is outlandish, man. That is outlandish. This was about to happen, bro. And then all because that is a part of the game you got to understand it. And it's the same with overseas. It's the same with overseas. Like you can't, they're looking for a reason. They're looking for a reason to get you jammed up. They're looking for a reason to get you jammed up. And this happens so many times. Like this has happened so many times to not just him, but because his name is so big, former what, number 2 pick? Ben McLemore was what, the number 2 pick? And that brings headlines. He's playing over in EuroLeague. I don't know where he's playing at the time of this happening, but even the fact that it happened some time ago, I don't know what the statute of limitations of what that is, but they say he's going to get 8 years for that. Like 8 years for that. Some things that he could have avoided or he could have done differently. This is what you got to understand as a professional basketball player. You're going to have all the eyes on you at all times. They're always looking to see what you do, anything that you do wrong, anything that happens on the slide tip, like you think you get into a little scuffle with a guy at a bar or something, front page. They're out to get you. They're just looking for a reason to jam up a basketball player. And especially if you're a black basketball player, that's great news. Understand that if you are a professional basketball player, anything of negativity that you do or is towards you is great news. It's great talking points. It's going to drive the media. It's going to drive interactions. And it's a great topic. So it's great to cover. You're just giving them free ammo for things that they are looking to cover. Anything. Don't give them a reason to jam you up because they're going to look for anything to jam you up. Now, in this situation, hey, that's boy, 8 years. Bro, gonna do 8 years. Now, if he done it, and the way I don't know, if he done it, then I feel like you do the crime, you deserve the time for the things that you done, and that's what it is. They say you're gonna do 8 years. They say you was proved guilty. I don't know who. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole to just say like what is justice and for who, because America in itself has proven to have had many occasions of wrongful convictions and overstretching on trying to purposely jam somebody up, especially a Ben McLemore. There's been so many instances on this type of situation happening to players, and it's an overly more push and being picked up by more people to push this narrative to make sure he gets convicted, because it just brings more light to the DA. It brings more light to their justice system, how it works, and it's just they're pushing more for a conviction more than what's right. And like, well, let's be real, you know. So I don't. They say he was convicted, but I guess I don't know. It's been more times that a man has been convicted of something like this that has been in this stature and has been later proven wrong than otherwise. That's just in my perspective of what I have seen in my life and research. I don't know what the actual statistic is. I'm not biased. I don't care. I just know maybe I'm triggered. from the fact that I am a professional basketball player and I've never had any kind of allegations or anything like that. But I'm not far removed from someone just saying, you know what, I don't care. I'm finna say something just because I feel like it. It doesn't even. I think Drake said in the song, you know, he gets charged with allegations just by them making I could never know he could never know the girl, and just by I don't know I'm butchering the lyrics, but his whole point was I get charged and I have to go through things just by someone saying something about me, and they don't even know me, but I still got to go through the process because of who I am. If you're just being some sort of light, and that's one thing. Once you go overseas, you have a different status. They're going to look at you with some type of light, and you are bigger than the like average person in most countries that you go to. Like, you are looked at as a star. So that is great news for them. But like I was saying about the justice system here in America, it's been highly proven to be wrong. You know, you're just not right all the time. And it's like they're just trying to, you're right all the time. You convict all the time. Every single time you just have a 97% accuracy on convicting people. 97, name right. Where is it that you have this unbelievable rate of just, we're so good. We're so good at our job that we're going to convict everybody. We're always right. We're always right. Like I said, I don't know what, I didn't read through the case. I don't know. I'm just giving my outside perspective on what I believe regarding how this is handled. I didn't go through the case notes and nothing like that. I just know typically in these type of situations, it's like a cliche, but it's just more catered to they're setting this guy up. It's how you hear it so many times over and over again. But if you did do it, you do the crime, you pay the time. That is what it has to be. But I don't know, so I can't speak on what the truth is. I do know that justice system doesn't really work like that, like most of the time. It's not catered towards us to be in a good light, and it's not catered towards our well-being. So, brother, I wish you the best. All I can do is speak good words on you and your situation, and hopefully those 8 years could get shortened and you can get up out and you move on through this situation, and you look and you remember that every situation in our life is a learning situation. And like the great Reverend Ike says, everything that happens to us, we allow it and we done it to ourselves. As crazy as that might seem, it's just saying that, you know what, you attract and you are in control of everything that happens to you in your life. There is no outside sources of anything that happens in your life that can control what you create in your mind. You create your mind, and you create the things that happen through your thoughts and your actions, through your thoughts and thinking. Because there's always a way you could say, you know what, shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have got too overly intoxicated. Doesn't matter. You should have understand. You know, you can't say there aren't examples. You can't say there's, all that is created by the thoughts and actions that you take. That is the whole point. In all situations in life, we all got the thoughts and actions that we choose to act upon and do. It's all created by us. So I just going to think of nothing but good situations through all the people that were caught up in this situation. And hopefully he got a good legal team that can help him through that situation. Moving on. We're going to talk about bees. Now, Malik Beasley has the gambling and lawsuit situation going on. The internet is literally undefeated because soon as any allegation of any person comes out, they're on it and they're doing their research and they're finding old videos and old tapes of things that has happened to validate what is going on. The same guy, I believe he has a video again of this situation of Malik Beasley. Yep, we're gonna check him out.
Good for Malik Beasley. He was supposed to get 3 years, $42 million after having the best year of his career. Now he's under investigation by the feds. And when you read the articles that are coming out about his financial standings as an NBA player, it's kind of crazy to read. Because it's crazy to read that an NBA player owed a dentist in Minnesota over $30,000 and the dentist had to win a settlement. It's crazy to read that an NBA player owed a barbershop over $20,000 and the barbershop had to win a settlement. It's crazy to read that an NBA player owed a marketing firm for loaning him $650,000 and he failed to pay it back in full. It's crazy to read that an NBA player failed to pay his rent for $14,000. Now, I'm not clowning anybody for being in debt because the average American is in debt. I owe the dentist $400 a month. That's the type of bill that I have, but I'm not an NBA basketball player. On top of the fact that we see these videos circulating all over the internet, we don't know what to think of him now that he's under investigation for gambling, but all I can say is that it does not look good. It does not look good that it's a video of him running down the court with no chance of them winning the game, and then the spread is a certain amount of points, and he running down, dunking the ball. It does not look good now for Malik Beasley. And to all you clowns out there who say that the NBA promotes gambling, they can't get mad when a player gambles, you sound like a damn fool. They promote gambling for people like me and you that are at home that want to win a couple of bucks on a weekend. They don't promote it for NBA players who are already getting paid a lot of money to put a basketball into the hoop. You sound like a clown, but he's not found guilty yet, but all signs point towards it's not looking good. It's not looking good for me.
What? You know what I think about that? You could take what's the saying? You could take a nigga out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of a nigga. Like, bruh, just you cannot, you just cannot underestimate a person's character. Truly believe it doesn't matter as long as you wait. A person is going to show you exactly who they are. You just have to wait. You just have to wait. A person is going to show you exactly who they are at all times. You just got to wait long enough for them to show you. Because the fact that you got money, you've played, everybody say watch you play, you've been in the league for a while, you're actually doing pretty well. I seen a couple of games, you was knocking that joint down, had like 8 threes in the first half, and I was like, I didn't know Beasley was this good. I know he could shoot it, but you could definitely see his progression in the league has went up, and he's been more of an impact player. And salute to that. Salute to that, that you're actually, you're progressing in your career. It's always good to see a player that has grown in the league and now you're getting offered what your dues because you've worked yourself to that. But in the end, like, bro, I really truly believe it goes down towards financial habits and money management and how that is, it's not above anybody to not have these things. It's not above any of them that have them because just because you have money, you feel like I'm going to just all of a sudden I'm gonna know what to do with it. I think there was a clip with Michael Beasley talking about that, like no one taught him financial literacy and what to do and what to put the money. They don't prepare you for this. They just let you go. They give you all this money and just you have this freedom. It is not emphasized what we do with the money and how we act and developing yourself. That's why mentors are so important. And I don't know who's his mentor. I don't know who he's around. I'm not here to criticize who he's around or who's giving him guidance. Bro, I don't know how old bro is. He's probably like around my age. But the point of the matter is you can't be no slime ball just being slimy and slippery with people just because you have money. Because money will show you and bring out exactly who you are. If you are a slimy person and not paying your dentist bill and you got the money and not paying your barber, you just getting over and not paying your rent, that's being slippery. That's being slimy because you know you got the bread. How are you in debt? You got the adequate amount of money to pay for what you need to pay for because everyday people do it all the time. But what you are doing is you're putting on the persona. You're putting on the persona that I'm a star athlete, and I have special privileges that I don't have to abide by. I am above everyone else because of my paycheck and my status in America or in the world. I have the status. So I'm just going to take advantage of that. I'm going to take advantage of what I got going on as far as being a professional basketball player. And I'm not going to pay my dentist. I'm not going to pay my rent. I'm going to just take advantage and owe these firms like, and then you out here, and I'm going to be real. Like, this gambling stuff is wild for real, for real. And to each his own. If you're making money from that and you really turn that into a source of income, I cannot sit here and judge nobody for what they do when it comes to betting. I can't judge because you might see a surefire bet, you might want to take that. However, guys who are betting in the leagues and guys who bet on their games, you're playing a dangerous game because, all right, I trade. I trade and I invest. And the trader and the investor, they'll say, well, you're just gambling. And I could argue to say, you know what, no, it's not gambling because I actually do research. Now, how many can honestly say they have sat for hours and hours? They put in a minimum of 4 or 5 hours reading, going over courses, studying charts, listening to podcasts for 6 hours, 3-hour podcasts, 4-hour podcasts, multiple books on one topic when it comes to sports betting for over 2 years. If you do that, I will understand why you would actually bet because you've done the adequate research for that. That's what I do as a trader, as an investor trader. I am constantly every single day studying, learning, trying to understand the charts, understand patterns, understanding my strategy, understanding nuances, understanding the mindset. And I've been doing this for years. And I'm in private discords, getting information from other people, being around people who talk about it, watching videos on information every single day about politics, about how it affects the money, how it affects the market. And all these things, really educating on the things that I'm putting my money towards to grow my money. The average sports bettor does not do that because I know a lot of them. That's all I'm saying. I'm not knocking what you do, but once you get to that level, you gotta understand, like, yo, there's more eyes on you. You betting on your own game, thinking you finna get over, I'm finna get over. What are you doing with your bread? Money management, I swear I see it so many times with guys and basketball players have zero money management skills, and I'm not upset at you because I was one of them, and it makes me mad because it's like, bruh, when did we ever get to this point? Like, how could we ever grow as a like a unit, as a mindset, a cultural people? Like, because we've never been given this information, but it's out there, but it's like, we just gotta do our part. And this is me doing my part of trying to just say, bro, like, you gotta, to really be to really get into this game and play this game and just like, and get something out of it, really got to understand our finances and understand how that affects our life, because that'll affect our decision making, because we're doing things out of desperation, because we're not thinking properly, because we're in a financial situation. And then we think that just because we get more money, it's going to solve the issue. But not having the financial habits when you get the money will ultimately not it will ultimately put you in a bigger hole, in and worse situation, because now you have more money to get yourself in more trouble. You can now put yourself in a bigger hole because you have more access to things to put yourself in that, like borrowing 650,000 and not paying it back, or owing 30,000, or going to celebrity barbers or celebrity or higher tier dentists would cost more and not paying those back, not having the money to pay them. Like the average person ain't going to spending 30,000 at the dentist. That's why I love going to the dentist overseas, and I'm so mad I didn't go to the dentist right before I left, because you know what? Getting the cleaning, deep cleaning, all you know how much that cost me? That cost me 30, 40 bucks. In America, it's $500 to get a teeth cleaning. Over there, I've been to Thailand, I've been to Chile, and I've been to Argentina. I went to all three of those places in those different countries, and I got my teeth cleaned and whitened. And they all only cost me no more than $40 a piece. No more than $40 a piece. So there's a law called Parkinson's law. The more that means your expenses go up, the more you make. The more you make, the more your expenses goes up. Just like they have the law of gravity and the law of polarity and all these different laws that we live by, like the law of gravity and stuff like that. There's one. That's called Parkinson's law. The more you make, the more your expenses go up. But a lot of people have never heard of this, so they don't think that it matters. They just think, I got more money, I will be more straight. I'll be straight now. I'm good now. No, your expenses goes up with the more money you make, and you be like, man, when I remember when I was in college or something, and I only had like $100 to live off for the month, but I was able to live and I was good. Now I'm making $5,000 a month, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 a month, but it seems like I'm still not being able to save no money. I still feel like I'm struggling more now that I got all this money, and money is your money management skills. And I really talk about that a lot. Not saying that not saying that, oh, I've reached my financial peak, not even nowhere close. But along the way in the journey, I seen how it affected me, and it changed my trajectory when I retired from the game of basketball. I'm able to really have something sustainable from this. I'm going to really have something sustainable from this, that I don't have to put myself in jeopardy of like a Mike Beasley or Malik Beasley. I don't have to put myself in that situation where I need to go and hit a parlay or rig a game to get my money because I'm so much in debt and I don't have any financial habits and hygienes that allow me to grow my bread, and be able to do different ventures. Like I understood that I needed a high skill that can produce money. Okay, I need something that's going to produce me money. Even though I'm living off this basketball check, this is not going to sustain the rest of my life. One, I need to understand I need to get the habits first. And everybody be like, I ain't got enough money to do so. I decided to focus on the habit of, because I said, if I have $100, it's the same thing as if I have $100,000 to if I have $1 million to 10 million. It will be the same setup. I do the same. I started off with literally like $200. Had to be. I just remember it was very low. I think it was like very low, 200 or something. And I started applying the situation, the money habits that I had, and the plan that I learned I'm still gonna do that. I'm gonna make a book. I made a video somewhere on the channel. I made a video about exactly what I do for my finances. That took me from like, I literally made over $500,000 in my career and had literally like $200 in my account. And it's crazy to think about that. I've made over $500,000 in my career, and at one point I only had $200 in my account after about 9 years of playing. And I'm like, how did that happen? What did I do wrong? What happened? And then now I'm on the back end of my career. Now the money that I'm making, I know I'm not going to let that happen, because after all that time, I'm able now to have more money accumulated and working for me at this point in the last 2 to 3 years than I had in my first 7, 8 years of playing. I have more assets. I have like land. I have a home. I have, you know, a portfolio. I have my daughter a portfolio. Like I've transitioned so far in just a few years than the first 9 years of my career. And it just shows like, once I got the information, once I start understanding there's a plan and there's certain habits that I have to have. If I want to change something, I gotta have these habits to actually make a change in my life and be real about it. Like I gotta be real and actually make a change, because it doesn't matter if I got $10,000 a month or I'm getting a $50 million contract. If I don't actually have the habits of it, it's going to literally not work out for me. And I really am passionate about talking about wealth and wealth building. It's just such a fascinating lane for me as an athlete, or just as a person in my journey in my life. I just love, it's just a new lane that I'm just wealth building. Like I say, I trade and invest. And I learned my own strategy, and it's been very rough. I've been doing this for a couple of years, and it's also like I'm finally starting to see some growth. And you find the growth in yourself more so than in what you're doing, because you're just finding that, you know, you actually stick to something and you got over the learning curve. I'm far from learning what I need to know, but it's like once you finally start seeing something working for you, when you finally start seeing something working for you, it just changes your perspective and it makes you want to keep going, because you say, yo, it's actually working for me. Like it's actually doing something for me, and I'm actually learning and growing, and it's working, you know? And especially when it's something like making money, like people don't really understand, like learning a new skill that makes you money and just fighting through the learning curve is difficult. It's very difficult in the beginning, but then once you get over it, it's like you can breathe again. And sometimes I might take 2 years, 3 years. Like you might take you 2, 3 years to get your game on point to where you're actually could keep a contract. Some people are like, why do I always get cut? Why does like I can't hold a job and I'm just keeping? Maybe your game is not good enough yet. Maybe you haven't reached the pinnacle of your game the way you're solid enough to keep a job. Like no matter what happens, you're good enough that they still can't get rid of you. Sometimes you just haven't reached your final, like your game hasn't reached to that point yet. It happens. Sometimes you just don't reach to that point in your game. It takes time. And that's pretty much how it was for me and when my trading. And I'm like, I'm not even to where the point where it's like, oh, I'm just good. Not even close. It's just I'm just in a part of my journey of life right now, and I'm just sharing with y'all. Like I'm been playing all these years. I'm 35 years old. I'm starting my 12th year of playing professional, and this is where I'm at and where I'm learning from, and what is like helping me grow and understand just a part of this game and this lifestyle. It's like I picked up something new that's going to help me make money that can generate into other things, so I don't have to be put into these type of situations. Because let's be real, it's the world we live in. Everybody putting in a parlay, and you when you see, oh, I didn't hit for this and I hit for that, and it's just like, dang, bro, my homeboy is a parlay man. He parlay every day. He gonna make the bread. And to me, we talk about it all the time, and we go back and forth over it all the time. And I understand what he do, but for me, I really like, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it because you putting too much into somebody else. And you see, look at bro, he out here tweaking and he going against you on purpose. I know the spread, so I'm gonna go and do that. What about the other person who had on the under or the over or whatever it is? So it's like you're well, they do call it manipulating the market too as well. Like it's crazy. It's a different game, but I put the time and the work in on it and just that growth to know like I got a strategy and I got a system that I've been working on and to finally start to see like, oh, it's starting to click. It's just something that you grow as a person that just helps you over like in all aspects of life. And I'm so glad that that my job, my career has allowed me that time to be able to put that type of work in to be able to even get to this point. Because it's different. It might not mean a lot for a lot of people, but it's different when you can just say, okay, today, outside of basketball, I can look and say, you know what, I've made 4 bands, 4,000 outside of the check that I just made. It's a different feeling. Okay, I'm an average player. I'm a good average player and I'm making 3,500 a month. But over here, I made another 3,000 this month strictly on a skill that I've learned in the free time that I have playing the game or living this life in this career. Because really, you're gonna practice about one time in a day, weights practice, and then you got the rest of the day off. So you're really giving about 3 hours of work a day. And then you might have a lot of off days. You have a game day, and then after that, you're gonna have another off day after that. So you really have a lot of free time to do what you want to do. So in that free time, it's very pick up. I preach. You have to learn how to make money other than the money that you're making outside of basketball. Because if not, you're gonna think you can make it through parlays. And I'm not shooting down nobody who's a parlay master and y'all love the parlay and do all that. I'm not shooting you down. But you see, if you get bammed up, it's a wrap for you. If you get bammed up with them parlays and stuff like that, it's done for you. And it's on the higher the level. So just be mindful for that. I know I ran it on that for a good little minute, but it is what it is. That's just my hot take on that situation. Hey boy. I don't know. He ain't wrote me back. He ain't wrote me back. Cuz we pull up. This setup right here, this is the setup I need. This is the setup I need. Cause I'll be going live all day. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish up on this last segment about Montrezl Harrell. We're gonna finish up on Montrezl Harrell. Doping scandal in China. Now, as someone who's been in China and played in China for quite a while, and I'm actually finna go back. I'm actually thinking about going back for wild ball. I just hit up my guy, and he said the wild ball's jumping. Let him know when I'm coming out here. If you have not been to China, if you get caught with weed, you done. You hear me? They treat that as like a capital murder case. Getting jammed up with the weed in China is probably one of the worst things that can ever happen to you. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's probably one of the worst things that can happen to you. They do not play. They don't play. They don't play. When it comes to weed, they do not play, bruh. Kind of like how it's something about Asia and weed, they don't rock with it. They do not rock with it. They don't rock with it. You need to listen to what I'm saying. Like most places, like Thailand before was wild with it, but now that's actually a good place to go to is Thailand. I haven't been, but they say that like the weed is legal over there. So guys, just like I made the video on the guy who was about to get a firing squad at him because he was caught bringing gummies to, where was it, in Indonesia. Indonesia, their punishment was you could get a firing squad on you and just literally you just getting assassinated by a firing squad for some gummies, for some weed gummies. Are you crazy? What are you talking about? What do you mean? How am I? What are you talking about? But that's their country. That's their law. That's what they live by, and that's just how it is. So you have to be mindful of the situations that you're going to. Look at Brittany Griner. She's the she did 8 months in Russia for a weed pen. For a weed pen. Just a pen. 8 months in prison. She had to be swapped out with a murderer. That was the person they exchanged for her release. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? For a weed pen. For a weed pen. It just brings back to what I say. When it comes to athletes, especially black basketball players, once you go over to these other countries, you are a target. And if you do something, the crime for you is going to be more heinous because it makes for better news for whoever, for the country, for the justice system. It makes better news. It benefits too much. It's just so beneficial to bring down a person that is of status. If you look at it that way, in so many instances, it's just such a good thing to bring down someone who's actually doing something of value to their life. You could say, I'm just smoking for myself and I'm just vibing for myself and it helps with my body and the NBA allows it now and stuff. Yes, all that may be true, but it does not pertain to you when you go to these other countries because you are living by their laws. You're living under their jurisdiction and you have to understand the bias that they have towards athletes, especially black basketball players. So just be real with yourself when you hear and see these things. Be mindful and understand. I'm going to do what I do. However, understand the consequences that can possibly happen with this situation. Because there are going to be consequences if you get caught. You just have to be willing to live with the consequences of whatever happens with the actions that you take. You wanted it because you did the action that you decided. Remember that. Every action that you take. In all these situations, all these guys were top NBA prospect players, guys with status, guys with money, guys with fame, guys who, you would, normal society and normal average basketball players, athletes, whoever, college, whatever, we would look up at. All these guys are role models because of the status that they are able to reach in their careers. Some people are just forced to be a role model or forced to be in the limelight just because they're so good at what they do, they're going to draw the attention. And what you do with that attention will either help you or hurt you because you cannot deny the fact that the attention that you're going to be getting, you've elevated yourself to a certain level that you are inevitably drawing attraction to yourself. What you do with that is depending solely on you because no one is untouchable. Just like the guy say, look at the Diddy trial, no one is untouchable. And if you are an athlete, I'm talking to the black athletes right now at any level, like high school, college, pro, semi-pro, overseas, whatever, female, whatever. If you are a black athlete, I'm talking right now to the black men, athletes, just know, bro, No one is untouchable. You are a target. They have a target on the back and they're at your head. They are at your head. Be real. Just don't deny that. Don't act like it's not real. They're at your head. So be very, very mindful of what you're doing and who you are surrounded by, the actions that you take, because, bruh, they're gonna bam you up at any time. They're gonna bam you up at any time. You know what I mean? That's all I really got for this segment. I just came on here, threw out my few rants. I said, you know what? I still got to upload for the platform, but I am here on the 4th of July. I hope you guys enjoy your 4th of July. I hope you spend time with your family. If you're home from holidays, from the long season like I just was, I swear this last season was it was a head scratcher. It was a doozy. It had me doing this the whole time. But I made it through, and I literally walked right into the holidays and spent with all my family. It's going to be so fun. I'm so juiced for that. I'm so juiced that I get on here and just chop it up with you guys and make some content and just do all of the above, because life is good. Life is great. Enjoy your moments of time that you get to spend with your family, and then we right back to the grind. But it's okay to take that time, because this is the recharging that you need to when you go away. You need to get poured in with all the love, all the jokes, all the happiness. All that needs to be poured into you, because you've been out there, you've been grinding, you've been putting in the work, and you've been doing all this. Enjoy it. Don't even be, oh, this independence, what this means for this. Enjoy time with your family. That is that's it. That's the whole point. Whole point is you enjoy your time with your family, and then we back to the grind, man. That's all I got, man. I'm finna go enjoy myself. Y'all enjoy yourself. Remember, greatness is a habit, not a right. I'm out.